Alrighty, so I'm with Chris Jardine, one of our successful students at the SLS Framework Mastermind. Christopher, I just want to say thank you for joining us. Chris has so far in 4 months of executing on the SLS Framework Mastermind is generating 10 qualified appointments a month and has closed 4 deals for a total value of $750,000 in AUM and has gotten to a point where he can justifiably hire a new advisor so that he can focus even more on prospecting activities. So, Chris, I obviously did a quick introduction for you here, but I obviously want you to introduce yourself first and foremost. So, please tell us who you are, where you're from, and what it is exactly that you do.
Thanks very much, Bilal, and thanks for that introduction. My name is Chris Jardine, as Bilal mentioned. I am not originally from Toronto, as some of you may be able to guess from my accent, but I do live in Toronto now, and I am a senior wealth advisor with Bellwether Family Wealth.
Thank you very much, Chris. And you focus on helping clinic owners, is that right?
That's right. Yep. No, I specialize in helping clinic owners become more confident of their future income, and creating essentially a steady stream of income for life through our established financial mapping process.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And before joining the SLS Framework Mastermind, Chris, I want to talk into when you came to us and we approached you initially to figure out if you would be a right fit to join the SLS Framework Mastermind. We asked you some questions and we quickly discovered that you were already using a LinkedIn automation. I believe it was Alfred. And can you tell us a bit more about the prospecting efforts that you were using even before joining the SLS Framework Mastermind? So you were already using LinkedIn, you still are, but not too much success. And I just want to talk a bit more about that.
So yeah, I was, as you mentioned there, using Alfred, which for those of you who don't know is essentially an automation tool for LinkedIn, which allows you to send out a whole load of connection requests and follow-up messages. The problem I was finding is I knew LinkedIn was a tool that could be used for advisors. I just wasn't quite sure exactly how to execute that. So I was trying a number of different things, and I was trying to create the process myself with not that much success. And this is when I came across Bilal and the SLS framework. And it was exactly kind of what I was looking for in terms of having that process behind what you're actually doing. I mean, it's all fair and well sending out a connection message on LinkedIn, but you've got to know who you're targeting and why you're targeting them, and what you're offering for that. So
Did you find yourself just like spamming people, like since you didn't have any direction? It's like you were given a I guess a gun with the wrong ammunition, let's say, right? Put it in a weird way.
yeah, I mean, there was an element to that for sure. Yeah, I mean, certainly some people didn't take too kindly to the spamming aspect of it. I mean, there's always some people that were nice and would open conversation with you regardless, but there did feel like there was an element of spamming people and kind of filling up their inbox.
And
So,
you felt that happened just because you didn't know your ideal client avatar. Your profile wasn't optimized, and thankfully that's what we were able to do after you joined. And I want to talk a bit more about that. So we diagnosed that problem. You were already using LinkedIn lead generation strategies, but with no direction. And I want to talk about a bit more about after you joined us. So we're a couple months through your journey. All right. So you're generating 10 qualified calls with clinic owners a month, and you closed 4 deals so far, total value of $750,000 in AUM. And again, you're at a point of justifiably hiring a new advisor, so you can do even more prospecting. You can focus less on less revenue generating activities. And how did that journey unfold for you to get to that point using our SLS framework mastermind?
So it certainly, when I first joined, it took me a few months to sort of get things up and running and do the courses. I mean, you could do them very quickly if that was all you were focusing on. I have quite a big book of business already that requires a lot of time to focus on. So it took me a little longer than maybe other people could certainly get through it. Once I kind of got through that point, optimized the profile, and then you start to, get the connection requests out there and the follow-up messages, and optimizing those messages over time as well. And then you start to see the appointments sort of trickle in, and then, the appointments trickle in, and then the follow-up appointments come with it. And then, lo and behold, you've got a few clients after a while. So
Your first month, you had 10 qualified calls booked, and you said all of them went to a second call, like a follow-up call?
yes, yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
All of them went to a follow-up call, and then after that there was 4 from those 10 that have eventually become clients.
Mm-hmm. And would you say those clinic owners, when they hopped on that call initially, what made them, see you as an authority or as someone as they can trust, right? Like, before you were using the same LinkedIn lead generation strategies somewhat. It's just now you have a bit more strategy to it. You have a bit more, you're more focused in who you contact, what you say. You have nerve striking messages. You have a nerve striking profile. And I just want to like talk about that difference. Like when you hop on a call with someone that actually expressed interest on LinkedIn, how is that call going different than before?
Well, you've already sort of got past the stage of, with having the profile optimized, having your nerve striking messages, optimized. You've already sort of got past the first hurdle of who are you and what do you do, because they know who you are and they know what you do and they know what you offer. You're then really just trying to get into the nitty gritty of, who they are and what they need, and, what their exact problems are.
Mm-hmm.
And then trying to, put something together from there, which can then present to them and show them, what we can essentially do to help them with their problem. So,
And the next thing I want to talk about is you you still haven't leveraged the rest of the lead generation strategies that we teach in the course. So you're only focusing on LinkedIn at the moment. We obviously teach a multi-channel approach to prospecting. We teach how to do email. We teach how to, if you have their phone number, a lead's phone number, why not, have a process around calling them as well. So email, LinkedIn, calling, and of course, all of that built around a way where you can cultivate your network. Obviously, you need to create some content every now and then to cultivate your network. So it's like a nice symbiosis of multi-channel approach, whether it be outbound, inbound. And I'll talk about, the fact that, you still haven't turned on the pipeline to scale that thing up, but obviously you're hiring now and you're getting to a point where you feel like you're ready to scale. And I just want to talk about, the potential you're thinking for the next couple of months for your practice and your team.
Yep, no, I think certainly, as you alluded to there, Bilal, I haven't maximized the SLS framework as much as it could be maximized yet. I've been doing I've been doing the sort of the basics, just purely down to a time factor more than anything. I have gone in and used, done some emails over time periodically, which has generated some success as well. But I know there's a whole lot more that I could do. And certainly I think, taking those 10 appointments that I'm maybe currently getting and, looking at somewhere more like 15 to 20 would be the goal over the next few months, especially as I have this other advisor coming in and helping me out with some of the other activities I have to do.
Mm-hmm. And that's the nice part. I think you're in a really nice sweet spot where that, okay, I did 1,000 outreach activities on LinkedIn. It got me 10 appointments and it got me 4 deals. So like, how can we? I feel like you're in a nice spot where you can, if you want more deals, you want to turn that $750,000 and then you double that. Well, simple. Just ask yourself, how can I double that? I need to do more outreach, turn it to 1,000 to 2,000, right? And if you can't, if you're capped on LinkedIn, you got email, you got calling, and more importantly, your calendar gets packed. You bring on a new team member so you can open up a new calendar, and so that's the scalability part. And so I'm happy to hear you're getting to that point, Chris. Honestly, it's such a pleasure to be part of your journey. I know you put in a lot of work. We see you on the Q&A calls every now and then. It's been a while we haven't seen you. I know how busy you are, and you're part of that Facebook community as well. We see you every now and then, so I appreciate you being part of that journey and joining the SLS Framework Mastermind. Last question I have for you, Chris, is what would you say to an advisor? All right, a wealth management advisor, a financial advisor, a certified financial planner, financial service professionals in general. What would you tell them, anyone who would be on the edge of joining the SLS Framework Mastermind?
I'd say that if you're on the edge, it's obviously something you're thinking about. I've spent a few years trying to figure this stuff surrounding LinkedIn about, and what the SLS framework does is lays it out clear, concise, with a lot of thought. There's a lot of detail that goes into it, and it gives you a pathway to follow to be able to execute properly. So if you're on the edge, I would say you just want to take that next step and hop over the edge.
Just like you hopped over the ocean edge and crossed the board, the ocean to come all the way.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I appreciate you, Chris, for sharing, your journey through the SLS Framework Mastermind. I think that's a wrap. So that'll be it for the interview.
Thanks very much, Bilal. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.